Alright, finally, Cheesy uploading again, imagine. Today I'm going to be discussing mines units you should use / put as your support unit. So, first slide here, we've got War God Fence and Raku and Kenshin. Now, all three of these guys are super crit units. Keep in mind, War God Fence type A, Archgen, Senraku's type E, and Kenshin's type F. So they can kind of be used in different circumstances. You know, you got earth comps, fire comps, light comps in the game, so you can also build around that. But the reason why these guys are good is that they can Artgen but also deal big damage. So they're great at nuking the boss at the final stage, and they can Artgen for early rounds. War God Fen can give everybody crit rate for all the stages, which is pretty nice because crit rate helps clear waves faster. And Senraku and War God Fen can also make evasion down and accuracy up, which is useful for some tricky bosses that might need accuracy or high accuracy to be able to hit the boss. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. And then we got onto the wave clears and huge damage final boss wave. So these guys nuke the boss at the end. Saito is probably the best one in the game at this. He has a 460k modifier, 150 damage res down. Yeah, he just does a lot of damage. And then you also got Jay, can wave clear super easily and stacks up damage every time he super arts. So he's also good for wave clearing. And then you got Summer Miu, probably the best wave clear in the game right now. She can just spam true arts every wave and just stack 80 damage for physical comps every single time she true arts every wave. And then final wave, she has super crit. She does have slow animation, so keep that in mind on her super art. But besides that, very good true art. Really one of the best units for mines currently right now. Great support unit to set as your mines unit. You'll get a lot of uses. And then we've got Rin and Luvi at the bottom here. So she has a passive, gives everybody 300 damage up, depending on how many enemies you burn. So the strat is to normal art with her and just keep burning the enemies before you get to the final boss wave, and then your team just has 300 more damage up just because of that alone. So she's also pretty good. Helps a bit with wave clear as well. So yeah. And then we've got the meta healers, pretty self-explanatory. Haruto and Summer Chloe, the best healers in game. I'd say Haruto is better at healing than Summer Chloe, but Summer Chloe has more damage up and damage support for teams in her kit. But yeah, those are basically like the two best healers in the game. And then you've got best shield unit / tanks. So Beta's great because she's the only like shield unit / tank in the game right now that can also arts gen, which is very, very useful. Amiya and Beta kind of do the same thing with shield tanking, so keep that in mind. Like if you can't find a Beta, you might be able to get around with an Amiya instead, and that will work. Otherwise, you've got Kirisame, which is the best like solo tank in the game. Thetis is also still really good. I just put Kirisame out there because he has a bigger shield. But yeah, you can still use Thetis in the game. So kind of the best shield units of tanks, I think, for mines right now. And then we've got best sub-DPS supports. So HK Roy, without a doubt, one of the craziest supports in the game right now. Same with Hoka. Hoka and HK Roy just go crazy in mines. Like water units are definitely like meta right now. Like dude, Hoka and HK Roy, just, I don't even say I wouldn't even say water units. I would literally just say like HK Roy and Hoka plus any physical attacker in the game right now is just super dominant. So yeah, it's just crazy. And then Sarah Lisa, probably the best magic support in the game right now. But magic isn't meta right now, if I'm being honest. Magic is, she's great for Wilkes though, and I will do a mines boss guide, probably dropping within a few days of this video, and I'll be explaining like comps that you should run, or a comp that works on pretty much every single stage, and then comps that are specific to certain bosses that are like really niche bosses with certain tough mechanics to get around. But yeah, and then skip the slide there. So you got niche uses but good here. So Geozagnus has a lot of race killer in his kit, so you can only really run like dragons or beasts or spirits, so, or machines. So Deadmaster and Veldora can nuke Geozagnus, at least the normal version. So they're both really, really good in mines just because of that very niche use. It will get picked a lot for support units, because not a lot of people have Deadmaster or Veldora at this point in the game. So you will get a lot of picks with those units, and yeah, they're great for that. Fire Orvel I literally put up here because he's still really good for Wilkes. In case you don't know, Wilkes has reverse auto Artgen, so you have to use burst Artgen. So units like Star God Lisa are going to be good. Now Fire Orvel and Light Sistina, they give off BE every single time their equip lands. So usually the strat was, at least last mines, was Fire Orvel and Star God Lisa was a good combo because Star God Lisa could cycle burst Artgen equips, while Fire Orvel would just get a lot of BE for your team. And yeah, still really good for that. And then we've got Shizu. So in case you don't know, one of the bosses in the game is Radis. Radis takes more damage up while burning, so Shizu's just gonna go crazy against Radis. And yeah, 260 fire res down is crazy, and then you get like Summer Miu in there with a super crit. Yeah, no, it's wraps. And then we've got best defense ignore units. Pretty self-explanatory. I mean, they're just really good defense ignore attackers in the game right now. Delta and FM Heart, and I honestly forgot the water unit name, I'm gonna be honest, but yeah, they're the 3 best defense ignore units in the game right now. And then we've got honorable mentions. So I've got Uzu here. Uzu, just one of the best DPSs in the game right now. And what's great about him in Mines is that you can stack his true arts before you get to the final wave. So on the final wave, he's got a huge modifier, lots of damage up in his kit. He's got 75% super crit rate, and then he can also apply 150 physical res down. The reason why I wouldn't list him as a top unit in the game right now is simply because HK Roy's Phantom Bullet just doesn't really provide the necessity, I guess, to use Uzu, because HK Roy has 120 physical res down on his Phantom Bullet, and Uzu's 150. And HK Roy does more damage than Uzu. Well, I don't know about that. Uzu has super crit. I probably wouldn't say HK Roy does more damage. But, yeah, it's just HK Roy is more versatile because he also gives 200 arts off when he Phantom Bullets. So keep that in mind. So I'd say HK Roy is better for earlier stages. Uzu might come in clutch like towards higher stages in Mines. And then I also put Senki here because she gives damage res on her true art. She can stack physical res on normal art, which is great in Mines because you can stack the physical, or not physical res, physical damage up. So she'll get up to 150 physical damage up on her normal art stacking, and you can do that before you get to the final wave. Then she has arts damage buffing on her true arts with damage res, so that's also very nice because any type of damage res buff for your team is going to be very useful in Mines, because when you get to those later stages, damage res helps more than heals will. And then her super art, 100 light res down, and she also has a lot of accuracy up in her kit, so she's going to be good against those accuracy bosses. But yeah, Senki and Kenshin are probably going to be like a really, really good duo in the game. All of their buffs work well with each other, so yeah, just keep that in mind. And yeah, that's kind of all the mentions I've got today. I'll just give you like what I think are the best support units you can pick right now. War God Fenn's always a safe choice, but he's just very oversaturated. I feel like most pros in the game are like intermediate to, I guess, like GS veterans probably have at least one War God Fenn in their team. Now, that doesn't mean they won't pick them, it's just that they can always like build around their own War God Fenn and just choose a unit they don't have. But for beginners, I feel like a lot of people are going to pick War God Fenn, so you'll still get a fair amount of unuses. And then we've got Jay and Summer Miu and Saito. These 3 are going to be picked a lot because they're super handy for just quick clearing stages to climb higher and higher in Mines. Same with Rin and Luvio. All 4 of these are really good picks. And then you've got Haruto and Summer Chloe. I feel like Haruto is probably going to get picked more than Summer Chloe because Haruto's healing is better. And when you get to later stages in Mines, or even stages like that new stage that just got added, it's the water boss. Haruto is really, really needed for that stage, so he's going to be a good pick as well for a support unit. Beta, great support unit, shields, arts gens, super useful for tough stages in the game. Kirisame, same. He actually burns on normal art, and the new stage in the game, you need to burn and break and heal. I'm pretty sure. So Kirisame is great at that because he can burn on his normal art and he can just tank really well. And then you've got Amiya, just great tank. He can be a DPS, he can be a sub-DPS, he can do everything. He's just great at it. So all 3 of these actually are pretty good support units. And then Hoka and HK Roy, 2 really good support units in the game right now. Will definitely get a lot of high picks. So if you have them, I would set your Mines unit to them. Veldora and Deadmaster, also 2 really good Mines picks for support units. They'll probably get picked very often to kill Geozagnis. These, I don't know if they'll get picked as often, but I feel like if you had to pick a defense ignore unit, I'd probably either pick Delta or this water unit here. FM Heart's still good, it's just that his gimmick is that he has to be on low HP, which sometimes is hard to get to when you're in Mines, because there's a lot of niche Mines bosses, and sometimes he'd probably die if he's at low HP. So I'd probably pick Delta and the water unit on the left here instead of FM Heart. And then these, I don't know if I would set them as my Mines unit because they're probably only gonna get picked like towards the higher stages in Mines. But if you have nothing else, yeah, you can set them as your mines unit. Hopefully this video gave you some insight and you guys maybe learn some things about some of the bosses. I will be making or not bosses, just like figuring out what good units you have for mines, I guess. I will be making a boss guide within the next few days, and yeah, hopefully that will help a lot of you guys out and will help you climb in mines pretty far. So stay tuned for that, and I'll try to work hard on that video and, you know, throw in some video footage and give info on the bosses, I guess. But yeah, thanks for watching, and peace.